The new and much anticipated AIO from LianLi is here, guys. I present to you the Galahad II AIO. Formal name is the Galahad II Trinity. It has a completely new pump, new cover design as well. I mean covers, you can choose between 3 cover options. It features 3 fan choices and it has 45-degree angled and 360-degree rotatable fittings. Come on, what else do you want? Name one AIO that has all of this. That's right, none. Let me show you the details then. Looking for affordable Windows or Office keys? Look no further, I got you covered. Head over to scdkey.com, pick your Windows edition, use my discount code LE25 to get a 25% on any Windows or Office products. Once you complete your order, after a few seconds you will receive your code. In Windows, go to Settings, there should be an Activate Windows prompt at the bottom. Click that, enter your code and wait for Windows to finish activation. To check the activation status, use the command prompt with the command slmgr.vbs/xpr and you should receive a notification that the machine is permanently activated. Once again, use code LE25 at scdkey.com. It comes in 3 variants. Let's get that info first. There is a regular one with classic Galahad II Trinity. It comes in 2 sizes, 240 or 360, with a set of fans that have ARGB of course, and they are connected and controlled through the pump block itself. Then there is an SL Infinity variant, the one that I got here. Basically, it comes with SL Infinity fans and a separate controller for them. Then there is the performance model, which comes only in 360 size, but comes with P28 fans, the variant of them. It has bigger pump and thicker radiator as well, and more dense radiator as well. So here is what you will be getting in the box. I forgot to mention that they are available in white and black color. I got white one here. Alright, we have a manual, which of course explains how to mount a pump block to all supported sockets, and it does support all of them with improved backplate for LJ1700 sockets as well. So here is something interesting. We got this thermal paste application film. You simply put the film sticker on the pump base, use the included spatula to spread the paste evenly, and this ensures that you have a perfect amount of paste and evenly spread for modern CPUs. This is primarily needed and good for the new Intel LJ1700 CPUs. And here is the mounting hardware for various CPU sockets, and of course metal backplates for Intel CPUs. This is great because if you had a chance to see the Galahad version 1 AIO, it had an additional LJ1700 kit that was released later on, which included a plastic backplate. Actually, a bunch of other manufacturers included plastic backplates, and that is how Intel Bendgate started. You know, the infamous CPU bending issues and so on. Well, metal backplates are better as they do not bend and will keep the CPU socket straight. There is a leather strap here to tidy the tubes if needed. We got some cables here needed for the fan control. Here are the new pump covers, so basically you have like 3 different options now. You can have the regular metallic ring with an infinity mirror on the inside, which also has a LianLi logo on it. Or you can use this plastic, milky or more diffused cover. There is a diffused centerpiece as well, and another centerpiece that is an infinity mirror. They call this the sinkhole design. Both of these can only be used with the milky diffused cover. You can't combine them with the metallic ring, which is a bummer. And we do not get that center metallic cover like we used to on the Galahad version 1. Here is the pump. It's noticeably larger than the version 1 pump, plus the base plate is bigger too to properly cover new larger CPUs. It's copper of course. Cover can be easily taken off. You can see the LED array, 20 LEDs in total. Mounting of the other pieces is easy. There are tabs and notches where you just insert and lock the new covers. Rinse and repeat for the outer cover as well. We also have a uni-hub controller for the SL fans. I won't be covering this in detail since I already did a review of these amazing fans. You can check it out in the corner, by the way. Fans do come assembled on the radiator, which is nice. It's already one step less when you build your PC. You can of course notice the angled fittings coming out from the radiator. Speaking of the design of the whole package, to be honest, SL Infinity fans are the perfect fit for this AIO. Infinity mirrors on both the hub and outer rims of the fan complements the pump block effects perfectly. Of course, you can swap the fans for anything from the LianLi lineup or any other third-party fan. Both the Galahad Trinity and Galahad II Trinity SL Infinity versions are available with 240 or 360mm radiators, in black and white of course. The 27mm thick radiators feature a single wave radiator fin design of 20 fpi, which is less airflow restrictive, resulting in excellent thermal performance when paired with lower static pressure fans such as these SL Infinity fans, for example. To give you a better perspective, the regular version will come with 2450 RPM fans, 3.26mm static pressure and 89.1 CFM. The SL Infinity is 2100 RPM max, 2.66mm of static pressure and 61.3 CFM, but acoustically less noisier than regular fans with 29 decibel compared to the 35 decibels. But on the other hand, the Galahad II Trinity Performance is equipped with liquid crystal polymer P28 version of fans that can also be daisy-chained by a single short cable, which can be hidden inside the frame of the fan. The 120mm fan is 28mm in thickness and is equipped with fluid dynamic bearing for stable and quiet operation. The fan also features two modes, high for performance-oriented results and low for noise-optimized results, which can be selected manually with the included RPM switch directly on the controller. The fans can also be connected directly to the motherboard for the PWM control via the BIOS or via an included cable that you can connect directly to the pump block. And you can use the L-Connect 3 for speed control. And that is why we have these two connectors on the pump block. And the performance model is only available with a 360mm radiator. It's available in black or white, and the radiator is 32mm thick with a double wave fin design of 19 fpi, and this performance radiator provides more surface area to dissipate heat, and it is paired with high performance fans to do so more efficiently. I'll put specs on the screen for you guys of these fans and everything that you will be getting in the package. Much like the Unifan P28, the Galahad II Trinity Performance fans can be upgraded with the side ARGB strip. The side on the side of the fan can be removed and replaced with side ARGB strips. The side ARGB strip is also daisy chainable to fit seamlessly on the fan cluster and can be controlled via the motherboard lighting software or using the LianLi's L-Connect 3 software, of course. But I, of course, wanted something different to go with the metallic rings on the tubes and to go well with the pump look, I mean the metallic ring on the pump. I opted to use the ALV2 fans. Somehow they look great with this AIO, plus they have a better performance compared to the SL Infinity fans. So we will get results that are more in line with stock fans, something in between stock fans and SL Infinity fans that this AIO came with. So let's talk a bit about the pump. This time LianLi went with Acetec Gen 8 pump. This is actually a good pump. Lots of new AIOs comes with this pump. Of course, they added a bit of their own touch to it. Compared to the V1 Galahad, the copper plate is a bit larger, but it features new skived fins on the inside of the copper plate with increased spacing to prevent buildup of debris over time. To make up for the loss in fin density, the fin's height and thickness has been revised. In addition, a trench or the canal has been implemented down the middle of the skived fins for better diffusion of the coolant over the entire surface area of the copper plate. The performance model has a slightly thicker plate, 1.9mm versus 1.7 on the normal model. Of course, there are improvements on the internals as well. The water channels are different now for better water flow. The pump itself is a bit larger on the performance model, 7-blade design rotor versus 5 blades on the regular one, 4200 RPM compared to the 3200 RPM speed as well, and it is overall a larger pump as well. What's also new, the increased tube inner diameter from 5.8mm to 7mm for increased and unobstructed water flow. And of course the best innovation so far for any AIO on the market, rotating 45-degree angle fittings on the radiator itself. This massively helps and looks cooler, especially if you mount this AIO on a side of the case, for example in the O11 dynamic case. You can just rotate the tube in the desired direction and it will put much less strain on the tubes themselves, plus it will look better. The fittings can be rotated in a full 360-degree motion, but the angle at which they come out of the radiator will always be fixed at 45 degrees. From the block there are 3 cables that are fixed to it: PWM connector for the pump, SATA power for the light, and also for the additional fans that you can connect directly to the pump with the 2 included connectors on it. Mind you that I have other fans, so I don't have those cables here, and it comes with a USB cable which is used to control the pump lighting via the L-Connect software. But you can also control the fan speed through it as well. Let me show you a bit of what you can do here in the L-Connect app. You will need a new version of the L-Connect app, probably will go live today with the launch of this AIO. There will be a Galahad II Trinity section there, and you can set the pump speed to be either PWM or fixed speed, and you can also set curves. You can set which cover you are using, so the stock one is called the Dual Infinity, milky ones are called Dazzle mode, and milky outer covers and infinity mirror center is called the Sinkhole. So based on this, the different light effects will be available to you. Since I am using the other fans that are not a part of this AIO, I do not see the RPM readout, because for this to work you need to connect the fans to those 2 connectors on the pump. So I don't have that cable, I'm not using that cable, so there's that. There is also an extended ARGB header menu up top. Here you can configure the amount of additional LEDs that your fans have to make the overall RGB effect more seamless with the pump. Again, if you connect them directly to the pump block. The prices of these AIOs are of course different regarding of the combination you choose. I will leave all of them on the screen for you guys. Let's say that the price is more than competitive given the fact that it performs like crazy and that it offers a few new innovations too. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the performance. I used it and tested it on Intel i9 12900K, and I am currently using it in my main PC behind me. This is the Ryzen 9 7950X CPU, which is a hot mess. And I included it here in the test as well, since it's time that we start to include these new CPUs here, but this also involves different testing methodology. We need to see how long or how much CPU clock and watts cooled can these AIOs cool. Starting with 12900K, it keeps it well below 87 degrees, which is good considering that I have fans here that are technically below stock fan specs in terms of static pressure, so maybe expect a bit better results on stock fans or even with performance fans. It managed to cool it effectively while producing around 330 watts of heat. Idle temperatures were more than great, 27 to 29 degrees, almost always with 24 degrees of room temperature. Gaming with this CPU will keep temps around 45 to 50 degrees depending on the load at the moment. But if you pair this AIO with 13900K CPU, this AIO is a monster, since that CPU produces 412 watts at peak, while Cinebench R23 test, it managed to maintain it at 107 degrees with stock fans and never above 102 degrees with performance model. Of course, these are insanely high temperatures, but we do this for science. Clock speeds were always at 5.49 GHz, it did not thermal throttle, by the way, since BIOS limits were set higher, again in the name of science. Normal usage, this CPU will be around 92 degrees with limits in place, so have no fear using it every day. AMD Ryzen 9 7950X of course have a different temperature. Actually, it will always max out at given temperature of 95 or 85 if you set it in BIOS, but again, producing around 340 watts at max peak during Cinebench R23, there was mildly hot air coming out from the AIO using the ALV2 fans at max speed. Clocks in multi-threaded use were always locked to 5.5 GHz, and it maintained these clocks for more than 30 minutes of stress testing both with AIDA64 and Cinebench R23. Idle was the best of all AIOs I used on it, keeping it around 45 degrees. Again, mind you that these run hot by design, I mean the CPU, and that other AIOs keep this CPU at 50 to 52 at idle. I would say that Galahad V2 takes a huge win here. Gaming is also good, those are some mixed loads. With other AIOs I had almost always 72 to 76 degrees in games. Galahad 2 takes these down to a more reasonable 67 degrees and kind of keeps it there almost all the time. Just to be clear, the Galahad version 1 could not keep with these modern CPUs solely because they did not exist when it came out, and the poor LGA 1700 mounting bracket was not helping these new CPUs either. So you might be aware of issues that people had with pump noises and such. I believe that this is why LianLi opted for the new copper plate design and also to use the new Asetek pumps as well. So let's hope that in time it will prove to be a good thing. For now, this AIO remains the best AIO that I used, beating even the LT720 from Deepcool with a slight margin for the regular model. Performance model, on the other hand, falls more within the 420 AIO category. So once again, good job, LianLi. I like the new options with different pump covers, although some of them simply are not my thing. I have to give credit where credit is due, but most of all, it's great that they listened and improved cooling, which matters the most in the end, especially with new CPUs. Mounting the pump on different CPU sockets is easy as it gets. Simply remove the bracket from the pump and slide the new one in. And this is also a thing that I do not like. For example, with AMD you are limited with tubes exiting on the right side only. It does look neater in some builds if tubes could go down or up or on the left. Also, mounting on AM4 and AM5 sockets is done via the stock retention mechanism, so they do not use the 4 screws on the AMD backplate, which in my opinion would provide better contact with the CPU. Not that this is bad, but it's just my opinion. But there are two nitpickings I must do. First, you can't rotate the cover with the logo, so if you want the tubes exiting on some other side than the right, even on Intel CPUs you are limited only to the right side because of the logo. This is just for the logo cap, of course. The second thing is about the radiator, since they follow this metallic brushed thing look on the pump cover and on the fittings. What happened to the sides of the radiator? With Galahad version 1 we had a nice brushed aluminum strip on the side of the radiator that gave it a premium and distinctive look. Sadly, it's not present here, not even as an additional accessory. Although if you own version 1 you can take it off and simply stick it with double-sided tape here, but it won't be good looking. If you followed Computex 2023 coverage, you may know that there is an LCD version of this AIO in the making as well. So I expect it to be released soon, but it would be cool if this LCD screen could be sold as an additional accessory for regular Galahad version 2 AIOs, for example. I'll stop here, guys. Overall, it has more positives, of course, but I feel obligated to you, the viewers, to tell you about everything, be it good or bad, so you can have a complete picture about the product. I won't be taking any more of your time, guys. Thanks for watching, sub to the channel if you like the content, like and share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.